Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Mickey 17. Now, my mother-in-law did not like this movie, so I have not even seen it, but it's a 7.0 on IMDb. 79,851 people rated it so far. He's known as an expendable, goes on a dangerous journey to colonize an ice planet. I don't know, it's an alien invasion, dark comedy, space sci-fi, adventure comedy, fantasy sci-fi. Um, and so Robert Patterson's in it, and the picture is like, you know, looks like 17 of him. Stephen Yeun is in it. Uh, and that's all I recognize right now. So, oh, Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette are also in it. Sorry about that. So, it's Tuesday. Two new movies came out on streaming, and this is one of them. 2 hours and 17 minutes long. Um, there's one other thing. I always want to see what the director and the producer are, which I always forget. And so we have the director is Bong Joon-ho, who is also a writer, and Edward Ashton. So let's get into it, find out what it's about, give you a better idea, let you know what I think. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Mickey 17, and I have to disagree. I did not hate this film. I disagree with my mother-in-law, who was the only feedback I got on this. So I thought it was quite interesting. As it started, though, I didn't like Robert Pattinson's character. He seemed, I don't know, kind of goofy, but it works. When you watch the whole movie, it kind of works. But his character, let's talk a little bit more about the plot before I start sharing everything else. That's just random. But Robert Pattinson lives on Earth. Earth seems to be, it's in the future, seems to be corroding. They decide that they're going to, start life somewhere else. And they're going to take an experimental group of people and take them to another planet. Along with that, they come up with the expendables. Because I think that's what it was, right? Whatever. Yeah, when I say that out loud, it's like the movie with Sylvester Stallone. But anyway, he applies for that position to make it onto the ship. And the expendables, essentially, they can make carbon copies of him. So every time he dies, they can just they save his memory, they reprint him, and reprinting humans, and he can come back to life and just continue to do that. So they do that so he could do all the dangerous stuff that they need him to do as they're exploring space. Interesting concept. Not sure if it was necessarily needed. I'm trying to give it more thought. Did they need this whole expendable type piece of it? But anyway, um, you know, Mark Ruffalo happens to be like I don't want to say the congressman, but the political leader that is leaving Earth because they won't elect him for anything. So he's going to run the exploration, and they had um, made it illegal to duplicate humans on Earth. So this is why they have to do it in space. And there's more and more on that. The other piece of it, mainly because at one point there was multiples, meaning there was multiple copies of one person causing havoc, and they just said, let's just make it all illegal. A lot more detail than that in the film, but you get the point. So that's why it's illegal to do it on Earth, and they wanted to do it in space, and he wants to head there because he wants to create his own culture, his own society. So on and so forth. As we see, I did not like Mark Ruffalo's character. It was really like that other movie we just saw with him and Emma Stone in it. I had the name, but I forgot it now. But who cares? You know what I mean, right? I didn't like him. He was like that kind of Mark Ruffalo, and I didn't. I think that took away from what this movie could have been better. That piece of it, like it's got the vibe of the Hunger Games, but that it really did. It felt like that to me. Not the same plot line, but just the vibe, if you will. But he kind of ruined that vibe and made it over the top silly. Him and Toni Collette. I didn't like their characters, and I think she was wasted. I mean, he was acting completely different, so I got to show some acting skills, but she didn't. Um, some other things I know I just likened it to Hunger Games. Have you ever seen the movie Multiplicity? When I was talking about Robert Pattinson and the character he was early on in the film, and when other characters come out, it reminded me of the Michael Keaton film Multiplicity. That's a good one. If you haven't seen that one, check that out. two other things. One of the things that they're training this new colony or whatever, they talk about Nippleham. That's the name of the colony. I don't know if I was catching that right or not, but the name that they were going to call it was ridiculous. Again, this is all Mark Ruffalo and his character. But as you're watching this film, there's a lot that goes on. As you can imagine, going to a new planet, creating a new colony or culture or whatever, having people duplicated. It really touches on a lot of different touchy subjects, right? Like going to a new planet, like Native Americans. When people came to America, that's in there. Aliens, actual aliens, because that's kind of what they were going to this new planet. Politics, of course, as this guy is very political. They showed a divide between different people. I really was thinking to myself, that's the first concept I thought of. I was like, maybe this is really a politically in charge movie, and there's some underlining theme that's Democratic versus Republican. I couldn't figure it out because I don't really follow that stuff, but I don't think that there was. And then the next thing, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's very about religion and, being reincarnated and that kind of thing with the duplicating of humans kind of thing. There was social divide, right, between the classes, social classes, the rich people, and then the poor people. I mean, that was touched on there, and that I think they got. Oh, and then of course there was romance and love. So it was all touching on them, and I was like, okay, they're trying to say something with this film. I'm not sure what it is, but then at the end, I don't think that they were. I think they just made this film. I know it was based on a book, and maybe that had more underlining themes, but I don't think there is one in this, which I think makes it better. They just made it. They touch on everything we deal with here in real life and made it interesting. You take out the Ruffalo character, I think you got something a little bit better. I think there's other avenues that they were going and decided not to, but whatever. That's what we got. So check it out. And I didn't even have to do spoiler alerts. I think I did a pretty good job of describing this film. I like Robert Pattinson. I thought he did a great job and enjoyed his character. And that's it. That's what I got. I'm going to keep it there. Hopefully I was helpful. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.